Football celebrates toughness. These moments aren't tough. They're cheap, dirty, and dripping with zero respect for anyone on the field. From weaponized helmets to coaches attacking kneel downs, these are 15 of the NFL's most disgraceful moments. The kind that don't need slow-mo to look terrible. New York lines up to kneel and end the game. Standard football etiquette: snap, knee, handshake, done. But Schiano doesn't care about etiquette. He sends the defense crashing into the line like it's 4th and goal, diving at knees and trying to blow up a play that's already over. Players lose it, coaches lose it, fans lose it. There's a difference between finishing strong and going after guys who've already stopped playing. Schiano picked the wrong one, and the league noticed. That was a head coach pushing boundaries.
That's exactly what Tom Coughlin and his squad did here today. That was pretty motivated here this afternoon. Giants didn't like that. He was aggressive and put Eli Manning on his backside.
But the next guy? He blurs the line between clumsy and calculated, and he's not even in pads. Jacoby Jones is breaking off a long return up the sideline. Who's in his way? Not a player, Pittsburgh's head coach.
Jacoby Jones there, and Tomlin is essentially on the field here.
Tomlin's literally standing with one foot on the field, watching the Jumbotron like a fan. Jones has to swerve inside. He's slowed down, gets tackled. Tomlin jumps back like a kid caught stealing cookies.
And you just wonder, he's trying to get out of the way, force Jacoby Jones to lean back in, tackled by Cortez Allen.
He swears it wasn't on purpose. The league finds him hard and threatens to take draft picks. And the tape? It looks more like sneaky sabotage than a whoops. Some moments feel like mistakes. Others are straight up petty. And Talib wasn't interested in hiding it. Michael Crabtree shows up with a gold chain around his neck. Mistake number 1. Talib rips it off. Twice. 2 separate games. It's not a tackle. It's not even a football move. It's one man treating another like a target.
And he took that gold chain and ripped it off his neck.
The whole thing explodes into brawls, ejections, and suspensions. Trash talk is part of the game. Theft isn't. But while Talib was busy ripping chains, Mike Evans was delivering cheap shots that had nothing to do with football. Lattimore is jawing with Jameis Winston on the sideline. Words fly. Lattimore turns, and bam. Evans flies in and body checks him from behind, launching him face first into the turf.
And Evans comes over out of nowhere, slams Lattimore to the deck.
No whistle, no play, just a full-speed blindside from a Pro Bowl receiver. Evans gets suspended. The rivalry goes thermonuclear.
They got a fight down there on the sidelines right now.
And once again, frustration turns into cheap shot cowardice. That one was personal, but the next guy made it public, and he did it right in the middle of the other team's stadium. T.O. scores in Dallas and makes a beeline for the midfield star. Not once, but twice. Arms out, chest out, stomping and posing on the Cowboys' sacred symbol. Defenders come flying in, fights break out, doesn't matter. T.O. knew exactly what he was doing. It wasn't about celebrating, it was about disrespect, live and direct, and the entire stadium felt it. Some players talk trash, some stomp logos, but a few take off their helmets and throw real punches. Finnegan spent the entire game grabbing, shoving, and chirping, the kind of instigator you either ignore or eventually lose it on. Andre Johnson chose the second option. Helmets fly, fists follow. These aren't scuffles. Johnson lands clean punches while Finnegan turtles and swings back. Both get ejected.
Unnecessary roughness after the play, number 80 of the offense. Unnecessary roughness, number 31 of the defense. Both of those players are ejected.
Both get fined.
There are personal foul penalties against both teams.
Trash talk is part of football. Bare-knuckle brawling in the middle of the field? That's straight from the octagon. That fight was brutal, but at least it didn't cost anyone the win. The next guy, he literally threw the game away with one of the dumbest penalties in NFL history. Final play. Browns are up 39-37. Chiefs get stopped, time runs out, Cleveland wins, or so they think. Linebacker Dwayne Rudd celebrates early, rips off his helmet, and launches it skyward. Problem? The play wasn't over. The ball had been lateraled, and Rudd's meltdown earns the Browns a 15-yard penalty. Untimed down, Morton Anderson drills the game winner. And just like that, Rudd becomes the poster child for premature celebration and self-sabotage. Tossing your helmet is dumb. But what if instead of a helmet toss, someone used it as a weapon? After a routine play, Romanowski leans in and spits directly into J.J. Stokes' face mask.
Ooh, and there is a real lack of social graces on the part of Romanowski.
No miscommunication, no gray area, just pure contempt on national TV.
Romo spitting into a black man's face, a race issue.
And this wasn't a one-time thing. Romanowski once shattered a teammate's eye socket in practice. Cheap shots are bad. Spitting on another player? That crosses into something darker. Even decades later, that clip still feels disgusting. Speaking of disrespect, the next guy didn't spit. He straight up kicked his opponent in the face. On purpose. Brown fields a punt, hits the sideline, and spots punter Spencer Lanning lining up to make a tackle. Most returners juke or cut. Brown, he goes airborne and drop kicks Lanning right in the face mask.
I don't know why Brown thought he had to do that to hurdle Lanning and puts his foot right in the face mask. He could have scored easily if he sticks to his left.
It's supposed to be a hurdle. It ends up a karate kick to the skull. Flag, fine, instant meme. Nobody ever looks at elusive the same again. That was a heat-of-the-moment decision, but the next guy built an entire reputation on hits that weren't just dirty, they were calculated. Cincinnati's on the edge of a rare playoff win until Burfict comes flying in and drills Antonio Brown helmet to helmet on a high throw. Brown goes limp, flags fly, the Bengals unravel and hand the game away. That hit becomes Burfict's calling card.
Oh my goodness. Brown is still down.
Of course, flagrant. That's going to be suspension, fine.
Reckless, late, and dangerous. Eventually, the NFL suspends him for an entire season. This wasn't just a bad moment, it was a pattern, and it finally caught up to him. But if Burfict was death by 1,000 hits, the next guy made one stomp so vile it defined his entire career. Sue gets tangled with Evan Dietrich Smith. The whistle blows, the play's over, but Sue, standing over him, stomps on his arm and chest while he's still down. No accident, no slip, just violent intent.
There it is. I mean, first of all, as he's trying to get up, he's pushing him with his hand on the helmet. It's his second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 90 is disqualified.
Sue already had a rap sheet of low blows and cheap shots. This one earned him a 2-game suspension and sealed his legacy as one of the dirtiest players of his era. That was bad, but Sue's target had a helmet. The next guy? He stomped on a man's bare face and left a trail of stitches behind. After a touchdown, Dallas center Andre Gurode is on the ground, helmet off. Hainsworth steps in and stomps directly on his exposed face. A huge gash opens. Gurode needs 30 stitches near his eye. It could have blinded him.
5-yard run for the score, and an injured player, Andre Gurode.
There are 2 fouls on the scoring play. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 92. That player is disqualified.
Hainsworth has been disqualified.
The league drops a 5-game suspension. Even fellow players call it inexcusable. This wasn't a late hit. It was an assault, and the stain never really washed off. That's one player losing control. But what happens when an entire coaching staff encourages that kind of behavior? Leaked audio and reports reveal a bounty system under defensive coordinator Greg Williams.
Kill the hit, the body will die.
Players were being paid to knock opponents out of games.
Players on the New Orleans Saints were paid money for hitting players, knocked them out of games.
Test the ACL. Hit the head.
We want his head sideways.
Take him out.
Thing in the world to make sure we kill Frank Gore's head.
It wasn't subtle, and it wasn't just locker room talk. It was a plan.
We want him running sideways.
The league dropped hammer-level suspensions, and the scandal still haunts the Saints over a decade later.
The NFL has cracked down on the abuses, suspending Williams indefinitely. Also suspended, Saints head coach Sean Payton.
You want players to hit hard, not for money, not for injury. But while Bountygate was systemic, the next moment was personal, explosive, and unforgettable. A late sack turns into chaos. Garrett rips off Mason Rudolph's helmet and then slams it down onto his bare head. Teammates sprint in, benches clear, the stadium loses its mind.
Well, he tackled Rudolph. Oh, gosh. Man. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man.
The league hands out an indefinite suspension that wipes out the rest of Garrett's season. And the hit? It becomes one of the ugliest live broadcasts in NFL history. This wasn't just breaking the rules. This was nearly breaking someone's skull. But here's the thing, you don't need a helmet swing or stomp to disgrace the game. Sometimes it's the quiet, repeated disrespect that tells the real story. Every stomp, every chain rip, every helmet toss, they all live in the same neighborhood. The plays that don't just cross the line, they erase it. Football is violent by design, but violence without respect becomes something else, something uglier. You sign up to get hit, not spit on, tackled, not tripped by a coach, blocked, not hunted like a bounty target. These 15 moments didn't just break the rules. They forced the league to ask itself how far it was willing to let the sport fall. And they're all still on tape forever.